Should African countries do like El Salvador and start adopting a passport free option for people to start relocating to the countries? Hey, Jason here. If you've been watching the channel, you've been seeing me as I've been going through this expat journey. I am now in my fourth country. I am in Zambia, in the city of Lusaka. And today I want to talk about, should African countries start reapproaching how they're doing their visa policies and just how they're bringing people into the continent. And so let's go ahead and dig into today's video. So this one actually comes from today. I was watching Nomad Capitalist, who was talking about El Salvador. They're starting a program to where they're going to be offering 5,000 free passports, full citizenship, and they're going to pay for relocation, everything. And they're looking for highly qualified people, scientists, engineers, doctors, things of that nature. And it really made me start thinking, like, is this something that maybe some of the African countries should start adopting? And short answer to that is yes, they should definitely be adopting that. I think one of the things that a lot of leaders throughout countries are not understanding is after the pandemic and the whole world shut down, you have to think of new ways to revitalize your economy. You can't just go back to thinking what you did before is going to start back up. Once you stop that mechanism of economics going, it does not start up right away. Anybody who's done Bitcoin investment, crypto investment, Forex investment for sure, but anyone who's done any type of investments can tell you, once a company shuts down, it's not that easy just to start it back up and think it's going to get back into a positive cash flow. And so one of the things that I think that the African countries should look into is doing this type of program to where it's giving citizenship, giving passports, and letting people relocate, and giving them a tax incentive, also paying maybe lesser taxes, is targeting a group of mainly Americans. I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a large group of Americans they should be targeting that no one is really utilizing that much. Few countries such as Panama targeting them, a little bit of Costa Rica and Colombia and stuff, but for the majority, people are not targeting retired military and retired government people with pensions. These are people who are getting guaranteed money coming in each month from the United States government because they put in the time, they put in their service, and it's going to last until the day that they're no longer alive. And so why do I say target these people is you're taking that cash flow out of the United States and you're bringing in a foreign currency into your country. But the beautiful thing about these group of people is they will have the discretionary income from just monthly. They don't even have to have it saved up, just from monthly, to be able to do startup entrepreneurial programs. One of the biggest things that help countries thrive is mom and pop stores. People think like, oh, you need to be Amazon, you need to be Microsoft. You need that mom and pop store vibe. You need people who can hire people within the working area. And if you have more people doing that within your country, you're going to have a higher retention of employment, and you're going to have more cash flow going. And so, like, really think about it. Like, if you're somebody who's in Africa in one of the countries, and let me know what you think about this also in the comments. Like, do you really need another mega corporation coming that's probably going to only hire about 1,000 people at the most? Or do you need more people coming in that's going to be bringing new business ideas, that's going to be maybe hiring, let's say if, like how I plan on doing a landscaping company. Let's say if I hire 10 people in the beginning, but then as that landscaping company grow, or if I keep going to different areas, that may become 20 people, 30 people, 40 people. Then over the years, maybe a couple of hundred people. Like, you have to really look at it. And like, I know most people are like, well, Jason, the big company can hire 1,000. You're only talking about maybe anywhere from 20 to 100 total. I will not have to be worried about the interest of stockholders. When your interest is stockholders, you cannot pay your employees more of what they should probably be getting paid. You're now going in at a level of like, okay, I need to keep my wages down. So I'm not trying to pay you a livable wage. And this is how corporations work. I don't think everybody understands this because it's not really taught in business school. Like, a corporation do not want to pay high wages. The corporation wants to pay high dividends to its stockholders. This is one of the reasons why when I invest in different stocks, I make sure it pays me a dividend, whether it's quarterly or monthly. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Every time I see my dividends come in, like I have a oil company that I have stocks in, I get paid every quarter I think about 10, 15 US dollars, and that just comes in. And that says I'm buying more and more stock with it. So, like, really think about that. Do you want more corporations coming in that is just looking to lower the wage? Or do you want people to come in that's looking to pay people what they're worth? Like with me opening up a landscaping business, the more work that the employees can do, the more I can pay them. The more jobs they can complete in a day, that's more money they can earn in their pocket. I don't have to pay dividends to anyone. And so this is why I think this is one of the most underutilized and under-targeted groups that no one is thinking about through this post-pandemic era. People who have a government pension, or a military pension are people that can really boost the income. And one of the things that I keep seeing throughout the continent of Africa, especially in the southern region, there need to be more entrepreneurs. There's no point in bringing in highly qualified people, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I've met tons of highly qualified people in Africa. Just like the other day, my Yango driver, he has a degree in agriculture and everything, and me and him, we had a great conversation. He gave me some great advice on farming, told me some areas to look into. And I ended up getting his number because I was like, look, man, when I'm ready to really go big, I'm gonna need you. And so, like, think about that. If I met someone in Zambia, in Zambia, I don't know why I said Zambia, in Lusaka, who had that information, why do you need to get someone from another country that has that equal qualification? Like, I met someone who's a chemist here. I've met people who do with water purification. I've met tons of lawyers, doctors, nurses. Like, when I tell you so many highly qualified people, like if you go to Botswana, you will probably run into an engineer every 20 steps you take. There's someone with an engineering degree. So far from what I'm seeing, the continent of Africa do not need any highly qualified people to come in. They need people that can just come in with money that can actually start building the businesses so people can start working. And the big corporations are not coming here enough. And because they do, yes, it's corporate greed, but you have to understand the point of a corporation is to pay dividends to the stockholders. It is not to give you equal employment or even a fair wage. Their whole bottom line is to pay the dividends to their shareholders. Like, as someone who's a shareholder, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't want to give up any of my shares. I don't want to give up any of my dividend payments either. And I know that sounds horrible, but you really have to look at it. If you're working hard to be able to invest your money, you're not getting as much of a return as you're initially investing. Those dividends add up, and so you want every bit of your dividend as possible. And so let me know in the comments below if you're someone who actually invests in companies and corporations that pay dividends. Let people know, what do you think about it? Would you be willing to give up your dividends for someone to get higher wages? I'm telling you straight up, I wouldn't, because as someone who wants to be a bigger and bigger investor, that's just another strategy. It's a whole nother part of MSIs, multiple streams of incomes, and it's just part of the game when it comes to that. But however, as wanting to be an entrepreneur at the same time, I do want to be able to make businesses that are making enough profit to where I can pay a livable wage. I can pay people fair wages. People are starting to understand the value of their time, understanding the value of hard work. Like, those are two different things. Me as an entrepreneur wants to be able to pay people. Me as an investor, I want my dividends, because that investment is for me. That's something I invested into my future. The entrepreneurship is something that I'm investing into the community, into the cities that I'm in, the countries that I'm in. And so really think about that. And really, like, if you're a politician, I know some of these countries are some politicians that be listening to me. Tell me, what do you think? Like, do you think this is something that would be feasible for some of these countries here in Africa? Should they start targeting a lot of this retirement money that's just being blown away on dumb stuff? You know how many people are in Panama and Colombia and Vietnam, Thailand, They're bringing in thousands of US dollars a month, and it's all going to waste because most of those countries is either not safe or it's too expensive to really invest in there. Or the third thing, which a lot of people don't talk about, is you don't really have any rights because this is a nationalist countries. So far here in Zambia, in Botswana, even in South Africa, I know Rwanda, and I believe Kenya also. I've been hearing some great news about that area. I have seen people being able to thrive. I've seen the abilities to be able to grow wealth here. The fact that Africa has that potential, we need to start bringing these people into Africa, start investing, starting up entrepreneurs, starting up businesses, and start changing the landscape of Africa together and build a new Africa. And so, if you like this type of content, let me know down below. If you have any questions or comments, if you're someone who's an entrepreneur too and you have something you want to add to it, leave it down below. And most importantly, just remember this: I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.